guys, my name's Terry and today I'm going to be cooking chili con carne with fluffy boiled rice. So let's get started. So the ingredients for the chili con carne, we've got one red pepper which are finely chopped. Just keep chopping it and chopping it and chopping it and chopping it until you get nice and fine like that. You want it nice and finely chopped. I've got some freshly chopped onions which I've already done here. I've already chopped the onion and prepared that. I've got a tin of red kidney beans. I've got a tin of chopped tomatoes which I shall be running through the blender because I want to get rid of all the chunky tomatoes from out there. We've got dried marjoram, paprika, garlic granules, chili powder, ground cumin, black pepper, salt, tomato puree, and I've got one no stock pot which I'm going to make 300 millilitres of beef stock. So they're all the ingredients for the chili con carne. So now we're going to start making the chili con carne. Okay, so in my wok I've put 1 tablespoon of oil and we're going to add the onions and we're going to cook the onions until they're soft and squidgy, but you don't want them overcooking, you don't want them browning. So we'll tip them in there. Okay, so get these onions moving and you want them, I'm going to cook them for about 4 minutes or so on a high heat. But make sure that they're nice and soft and that you don't overcook them. So once I've done this bit, I'll come back to you. Okay, so these are nearly done now, I'm getting happy with these. So what you do next is you tip in your red peppers, which I've got here. Some nice, very finely chopped red peppers. I'm going to tip them in there. They can go in with the onions. And mix them up. Turn the heat down just a touch, about halfway. You don't want the onions burning or overcooking. And then what you do now, once you've done that, turn it down a little bit. You add 2 teaspoons of garlic granules, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and I'm going to add a good heaped teaspoon of chili powder. That should be plenty. Then you just turn up the heat and you cook them again for a few minutes, mixing it all in. Get it all mixed in there nicely. So I'm going to cook these for about another 3 minutes and I'll come back to you. Okay, so these have been cooking nicely now for about 5 minutes. So the next stage is to do the minced beef. So I'm going to turn that off and take it off the heat. For now, but I'm using a different pan. I'm going to be using a frying pan for this one. And here I've got some nice, very lean mince, steak mince. We're going to be putting that in the pan. I want to put in there about a tablespoon of oil. And then I'm going to start adding the mince. I'm going to break it up as it goes in there. It's nice mince this, from the local One Stop. I think somebody should invent smelly vision because the aromas in here are out of this world. All them spices. Yeah, somebody should invent smelly vision. They make a fortune. They'll be a billionaire overnight. So that's all the mince broke up. Now we need to get this all browned off so there's no pink left. And then what we'll do, we'll add it to that mixture. So I'll come back in a few minutes when this is done. Okay, that's all done. I'm happy with that. It's all brown, all the pink bits have gone. So now I'm going to transfer this back into this pan. And we need to give it all a really good mixing in. So I'm going to let that cook now for about 3 more minutes and then I'll come back. That's been simmering away for about 3 minutes, so the next step would be to add the beef stock, which I've got prepared here, and I'm going to run the tomatoes through the blender and we're going to add them to it as well. So that's the next stage. So we'll take this off the heat just for now. Okay, so I'm going to whiz my tomatoes. I've got 1 tin of chopped tomatoes in there. I'm just going to give it about 3 whizzes, and then I'm going to pour that into the mixture. And I'm also going to pour in the beef stock. So that's 300 millilitres of beef stock. That goes in there, heat goes back on, and you give that a really good mixing up. So I'll give that a mixing up and I'll come back to the next stage. So I've added half a teaspoon of dried marjoram. I'll give it a good squirt with some black pepper and some salt. I've given it a good stirring. And I've turned it down to boil. So what we need to do is reduce all this liquid, get rid of all this liquid. So we're going to simmer it for a good 20 minutes, and then we're going to add the kidney beans, which will be washed and drained. They will go in there. Then it'll be simmered again for another 10 minutes, and we need to reduce all this liquid down. So get rid of all this liquid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the lid on loosely, like that, and let all the steam evaporate so that all the water reduces down and all the liquid goes. We don't want to get rid of all that liquid. So I'll leave that for about 20 minutes and I'll come back. Okay, so that's been boiling, simmering for 20 minutes. So at this stage I've washed off my kidney beans and drained them. So I've washed them under cold water. Give them a good draining and give them a good washing. So now I'm going to add them and mix it all up. As you can see, we've still got quite a lot of liquid in here, so we need to turn up the temperature a little bit, probably to about halfway. We want to start reducing this liquid down because now we need to start on the rice. So we want next to no liquid in there by the time the rice is done. So leave the lid off at this stage, turn the gas up and get it boiling. Keep stirring it all the time, keep it moving, and we're going to get rid of all that liquid. So the next thing we're going to do is sort out the rice. The secret to a nice fluffy rice is the preparation. So we're going to do that now while that's boiling. So for 2 people I usually typically use about half a bag of rice. And what we're going to do is we're going to rinse that really well under some cold water. I need to give it a really good rinsing because we want to wash all the starch out of the rice. Okay, so get a spoon, give it a good stir, keep getting a really good rinsing. Really good rinsing. Okay, so that's a really nice rinsing, that. So before we start to cook the rice, we need to get rid of some more of this water. So we're going to leave this bubbling for about another 10 minutes. By then, most of this should be gone. So once this 10 minutes is up and most of this is gone, I'll come back and we'll start cooking the rice. Okay, so this is starting to reduce down nicely now. There's A lot of liquid left in there. By the time the rice is cooked, that should be pretty much ready. So what I've done is I've boiled some water. I'm going to add it to the pan. That can be turned down a bit now. Now when that starts to boil, I'm going to tip in my well washed rice. Make sure you give it a good washing, a good rinsing out to get rid of all that starch. So I'm going to add that to the boiling water. Now as soon as that goes into the pan, it will start to stick to the pan. You need to stir it straight away. Now that'll take about 8 to 10 minutes on a high heat. I suggest that you just get a fork and try it, just test it every now and then, because you don't want it overcooked, you don't want it soft, too soft and mushy. This is starting to reduce down nicely now, so I'm going to turn this right down to simmer, just while I'm waiting for the rice to cook. So in about 8 to 10 minutes time the rice will be done. I'll drain it through the sieve and pour some boiling water over it and fluff it up inside the sieve, so make it all nice and fluffy. And then all it remains to do is to plate up, and I shall see you in a few minutes time. Okay, I'm just going to give my rice a try. Take some. That's now ready. So we take it off the heat. I boiled the kettle full of water, so we're going to drop the rice through the sieve. And we're going to rinse that with some boiling water. Just keep rinsing it through, like that. And give it a fluffing up with a spoon. Just keep rinsing it through. Some more boiling water. And give it a fluffing up inside the sieve. Get rid of all that water from out of the rice. And there you've got some nice fluffy rice. It's not sticking together, it's not stodgy. It's nice and fluffy. So all it remains with me to do now is to dish out, sit down and enjoy it. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. And there you go, my chili con carne with fluffy boiled rice. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please click on subscribe and like. Keep a lookout for more of my tasty dishes. Next time I'll be doing spaghetti bolognese with tagliatelle rather than using spaghetti. So watch out for that. All it remains for me to do now is sit down and enjoy it, and thanks for watching.